We can pick up lethality. You good?
Yep.
All right. With the resolution to go to Flowerfield, Bright said that she needed to stop somewhere first, correct?
Before we get there, I'm going to spend 10 minutes and cast Unseen Servant as a ritual.
Ah. Okay. It may sound weird, but what does your unseen servant look like?
Like that imperceptible nod that I
Okay.
gave? It's imperceptible. But I was actually going to have a moment for that.
Yeah.
Jade, I know sometimes you see things that aren't there, and this is a time where we can not see things that are there. So I'd like you to meet Betty. Betty is my invisible friend. I know sometimes people have imaginary friends, and this is like my imaginary friend, but she's real. So say hello to Betty.
Hello, Betty.
I will have her shake Jade's hand invisibly.
Ah! I'm sorry. Try to ignore that. I'm. Thank you, Betty. I'm Jade. And it's a pleasure to meet you. And I'm sure that. What's that?
You don't have to be polite to her. She can't understand you anyway. But thank you for trying.
I can't understand me.
The weird thing about unseen servants is that they're formless, shapeless, mindless. They're invisible, mindless, shapeless force that performs simple tasks at your command until the spell ends.
Okay, so Betty can only be with us for an hour, so we should hurry and pick as many flowers as we can, because if she runs out of time, then she might explode if we try to bring her back while we're out there. So.
Oh, okay. She looks at you like she thinks she gets it.
Bright, when the handshake occurred, as you form or formulate Betty, Betty or Betsy? I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Tango.
Okay, Betty. As Jade shook hands with your servant, as you conjure Betty, does she have like a tentacle arm? Does she have a little gnome hand? Does she have like a big crushing orc hand? Does she have 6 fingers or 2 fingers? Like what is?
No, she's bigger than me, but smaller than a human. Maybe sort of like elf-sized, and completely humanoid.
Okay. Then the 5 of you really, because Betty's kind of filling in for Tazray. Look, a barbarian would only be a liability to you going into a place that hates magic, right?
Yeah, that's one way to think of it.
All right, so no other shopping or anything along those lines, correct? Forever hold your peas. All right. When the peas spill, that's when we roll initiative, or when the peas spill. All right, you make your way through town, and actually, I have some numbers on my end of things here. Celine, as you make your way, so you're leaving the Tumbled Wench here, and you're going to be passing through the middle of town in order to leave and end up in Flowerfield.
Okay.
You hear a passive conversation as you're walking by. And some people are talking about apparently there's some rich kid that's being held in the harbor, and people are like, oh boy, I bet he'd get a good reward. If someone could just turn him over to his family. And oh yeah, I've heard about that family. They have a lot of money, etc. and so forth. And then someone else is like, oh, it's a shame what happened on that ship to his dad.
No, it's our friend.
Well,
I would remember
if
that,
Celine
wouldn't I?
wants to, I'm giving this to Celine for the highest passive right now. You can spread it, and Bright, we can catch up on that. But Celine, this is what you pick up if you want to take that with you, or stop and interact, or pull everyone off to the side and mention you heard this. But that's the bit that I'm dropping on you.
Okay. I will actually probably I won't go actively up to those guys, but I will probably pull everyone aside and say. So someone mentioned something about a rich kid being held in the harbor and about something bad happening on a ship. Is that the... I remember seeing some rich guy ported off the ship. Is that his kid or something?
See, our friend.
It might be the towel kid.
Name him Boxy. A new name, and that's the one we came up with.
Would it be an idea to investigate before we go out in the flower field, or do you want to leave it for later?
Well, we were really good friends, and the thing about kidnappers is that flowers stay put and kidnappers don't always. So I think it's more urgent, unless is your friend really desperate for these flowers? Or it sounded like he was just kind of curious. So I think it would be better if we went off to give him some assistance, if we can.
Well, he's being held by the Harbor Authority, so there's no guarantee that they would release him to us.
Wait, I thought... Is it? I thought it was kidnappers. Is it the police? Because they're okay. Understand?
Well, I would imagine it would be the authorities, yes, considering he didn't have any other family on board as far as I know. Or at least aside his father.
Father was the only one on board. He had some other family here, I think, but they were supposed to find his way there. Get some help, and they were going to take him. That's what the captain said.
Possibly. Maybe they simply haven't come for him yet.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, it was, 2 days ago that we got into port?
Effectively. I mean, this is your second day from exiting. You got off at night, you spent the night, and then you had a full day. Then the bar fight was night 1 from day 1, and now this is day 2, and you haven't been in night 2 yet. Or full night, I should say, because you pulled.
We'll go day. We'll go like day and a half.
Sure.
But, They may not have come to collect him yet, or maybe something more drastically might have happened. I can't be too sure. What I think we should do is we should go out and do this task that we have been hired to do, and then on our way back in, if it does pop up again, we should investigate. Does that sound good to everybody?
Investigate anyway, but depending on how long it's going to take to pick these flowers, we're already here, so maybe we have time for it.
But we need to hurry. We need to hurry. We can't delay. We can't delay. The child will be safe at the harbor. Nothing's bad's going to happen with the authorities. Is being detained. These are things for people who are sick, who are vomiting blood and the like. This is more important. Needs to be. It's the right thing, right? It's the right thing.
Given that both of the things that we were required to gather are for medicinal purposes, I would imagine that it might be for authority, because it could be that he is also sick. We have no idea.
That's true.
So I mean, if we were to investigate and we come bearing, things like healing potions and whatnot to make him better, well,
it still doesn't hurt to at least go check it out.
yeah, I'll
We can still walk over there, and then if nothing's really up, we can still just go get the flowers and come back.
I think that is a perfect idea. I shall go and talk to them.
No.
Okay.
It'll only be a single quick conversation, Jade, and then we shall be on our way.
Sure. If you
As
want.
you said, we must not delay, and we shall not.
Yes.
So Selena's gonna go up to the people who she heard this. It's like, excuse me, I heard you talking about a small rich boy whose father died on a ship.
I'll follow Celine. Jade, do you want to come with? We can hold hands.
She just grabs onto your hand like death grip. This is a lifeline.
Ow. Okay.
I'm following with.
Okay, you're asking the gaggle of ladies who are wearing very bright foppish hats, going cheap.
Yep.
Okay, hey, that's a good place to get information. Oh yes, the poor dear. Oh my, yeah, poor thing. His father, if you believe the rumors, actually died at sea. Oh. I'm sure that they had to crate him up and, the body's probably being held. Nasty stuff going around these days here in Mesamaska. Oh, but think of the poor dear. Oh, alone in this world. Although, if he's the boy that I think he is, he's in some a good position. I'd imagine that word would travel to his family and they'd come in for him.
Well, if he is the boy that I am also thinking of, then yes, I imagine they would. If we are talking about the same boy, was on the ship when his father died. His father was killed by a man of war, a jellyfish-like creature that it consumes people.
How dreadful! And one of the ladies kind of like, starts fanning herself because she's getting the vapors. The other one's clutching the pearls. Oh, filthy, awful stuff. Poor dear.
Me and my compatriots here, and she'll gesture to Bride, to Jade, and to Raphael, were part of the repelling squad to destroy these man of war when they boarded the ship.
So, excuse me. Hi, yeah, down here. Do you know what's happened to him? Is he gonna be okay? What's going on with him?
Oh, pardon me 1 second. Got to get my cat here.
Or out of character. Yeah. Works either way.
Okay, sorry about that. I have returned. cats, you know. Actually, I see Derek knows what I'm talking about.
I'm trapped. Send help.
That's right. We know who the true master is here. Derek is actually the familiar. Okay. Yep, cats everywhere doing everything. All right, so I'm sorry.
That's more true
You're talking.
than I care to admit.
You're talking to the biddies on the corner, and I'm sorry. Please continue.
I said, "Is he okay? Or is he in danger? Or what's going to happen next?"
Oh, I don't know. I think he's okay. Actually, I'd hope that he is because, well, I would hate for something to happen to, to such a pure innocent boy like that, or let alone. And the other lady's like, oh, and think of the money too. Oh, that family without an heir. Oh, that'd be horrible.
See, in my experience, if a family goes without an heir, they find suitable people and, how you say, make like rabbits.
Oh, the two ladies, like the one clutches her pearls harder, the other fans like, oh, how lewd.
Quite,
Well-
but it is the truth of the matter.
Among my people, if there's a family without an heir, it's not a problem. They just take their house and give it to whoever's the poorest, and then they take their money and they throw a big party with it, and everyone has a celebration. That's why, or that's because we want to make sure that everybody leaves happy memories.
Oh, well,
Fight over it. That would defeat
isn't
the
that
whole
just delightful? And all three are sort of like looking down at you, like, "Oh, that's wonderful, a big party." Well, yeah, I'm sure that they would be happy to give their house to, the next urchin who comes across. And they're kind of you don't need an insight, Bright, but they're definitely being biddies.
Slightly condescending.
Yeah, they're looking down at you more than just in a literal sense. Oh,
Yes,
look
it
at the
is
time. I have some hat shopping to. By the way, she's a fantastic hat. Bright. This hat, even though she may be like, rubbing the wrong way against you here, this hat is absolutely your style. Like, it's bright. In fact, it makes use of a lot of the flowers. Right, there's a bunch of fresh flowers in it. It has some feathers sticking out of it. It is just a gorgeous cornucopia of floral beauty and color.
Yeah, too bad that there's a snake on it.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Do something different, but yes, that's excellent.
Okay, so with a minor illusion, Jade produces a snake in the foppish lady's hat, and one notices, and she had already been fanning, like she's not getting much more air than this, and her eyes widen, and she just like faints straight away. And the other one looks down like, oh dear, and she looks at the one who's been clutching the pearls the whole time, like, what is? And then she just like not an actual heart attack, but definitely just like goes for the big clutch of the pearls, and she also faints down, leaving just the one who, oh dear, oh dear, and she's looking, panicking, and
The snake starts to slither down over the rim of the hat.
and she just sort of withers herself. And there are three foppish ladies who are passed out on the street corner.
Jade walks up to the hat,
Mm-hmm.
grabs hold of the hat, and starts walking back to the flower fields, placing it upon near Bright's head.
Oh, that's perfect.
So the people in town are watching this and don't really know what to make of it. Jade, as you place this large, colorful hat on Bright, it just covers her whole head and sits on the brim sits on her shoulders.
Disappear into the hat.
Yeah.
I'm sure that she doesn't want anything that's infested with snakes to be on her head. Does she? Maybe. She looks and
Okay.
tries to memorize the person. There might be activities off screen.
Okay.
Take my mage hand and hold the hat up so that it like hovers over my head.
Your mage hand strains against this hat. It has a 5-pound limit, right?
10, I think.
Oh, it's 10? Okay. I'd still say it strains, but I want to be halfway reasonable here. All right. Your mage hand can handle the hat. But it gives a little squeak or some sort of other magical cue of a weight indicator here, and so you're walking down with this invisible hand, just like keeping the hat floating above your head, the whole way.
When we get about 30 feet away, I'll go ahead and have the hat float back over, return it to its rightful owner.
Okay. All right. So it kind of and it lands on her head, and it looks like the three ladies are just taking a bit of a siesta here, as other people have gone up to try and assist them, and the one person Jade was looking at you, and you're just like, snakes, and I know I didn't do your character justice, but they're like, yeah, snakes, and the hat is returned, and are you all walking in the direction of Northport, or are you walking out to Flowerfield?
On Flowerfield?
Flowerfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then nothing that we heard in the conversation would change that calculation, I don't think.
Okay. Well,
the situation is not pressing with Mr. Boxy.
All right. Then you all make your way through. As you do, you pass by, Celine in particular, you pass by the Sleep Sand Circle, and it sounds like that there's daily fights going on. For the rest of you who didn't make it out this far, this is on the edge of town, and there's a goodly amount of people. You're smelling foods and smoke. You're hearing cheers, and it seems to be a very popular place. There's no gate guards or anything asking you to, for identification or warning you to be back before nighttime or anything. You can just leave the city, and the city, as you leave the city leaves you too. There's less houses, there's less buildings, and suddenly you get down to the point where you're following the main road, and it's fences, or you might see a barn. It would look a lot like the picture that is provided for you all. After not too far outside the city, everything seems to be developed and stacked up on itself inside the urban center, and the flower field itself, maybe due to its wild magic nature, or just it hasn't developed that far or something, it quickly turns into countryside. Now that the four of you are meandering around, you had a couple things you were looking for or hoping to find.
Yes.
How would you like to go about trying to find the flower and or the berries, or trouble, or whatever else you'd like to try and find out here?
Well, I have a description of the flower because I made sure to take notes. So I'll be looking for basically 4 flowers that have 5 petals and warm colors. Is the main thing, because the berries also come from the flower.
Okay. With that in mind, Celine, you begin searching, and after not that long, you find a patch of flowers that have these warm, kind of fiery colors to them, and 5 petals, and they're just sitting there.
I'm going to call the attention of the rest of my party members. It's like, I believe I found a patch of the flowers we are looking for.
Appear to be the right flowers to me as well.
Bright, as Celine is drawing your attention over to them, they're certainly flowers, and they appear very pretty, but they're not warm-colored, nor do they have 5 petals.
These aren't the right flowers. These don't have they don't even have 5 petals.
Wait, Wait, what are you seeing?
You could make something up. But you're not seeing what you're not seeing the Solaris flower.
This one is it's almost like a daisy. It has petals going every which way, and then this one, it's kind of like a rose. It's just got a few big petals, but there's nothing that has 5 petals like arranged, and they're not the right colors. They're supposed to be reds and yellows, and instead this one's blue, and this one is just white, and I don't think this is the right flower at all.
Celine, bright is bonkers. These are definitely the Solaris flowers. You know what they look like.
Raphael and Jade, why don't you come over and tell us what you see?
Okay. So Jade wanders over and I can try and investigate. What are these?
These are...
Do I see the flowers or am I seeing something else? Because I'll gladly make up another description if you want.
You're seeing flowers, but these flowers are... I don't know, they almost look like turning gears. These flowers look like something... They're flowers, but they're more unique to Jade.
And she watches as each puddle pushes against the other, which pushes the other one, which causes them to twist and turn, yet for some reason the stem doesn't rotate. And the tick, 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 tick. No, that's not them. They are not supposed to be here. No, not like that. They look more meat into the grinder. Why are you not seeing this?
Could I make an insight check against those two? Because I don't think that they would lie to me. But at the same time, it's not what I'm seeing.
Let me get Raphael's description of what he is seeing, and
Okay.
and we'll go from there before that's necessary. So
All right.
Raphael, you're looking at this patch of flowers. Celine, I mean, because look, Celine swears up and down these are the Solaris flowers. She obviously knows what they look like. I mean, she talked to the person who gave you all the quest. Bright is just seeing this absolute beautiful bouquet. Jade is seeing meat for the grinder. What is this? And as you look, Raphael, into this patch of flowers, what are you seeing?
Well, I don't know what you guys are looking at, but I just see a regular rose right there.
What I saw, almost.
Well, Celine,
We look at some other flowers and see if the other flowers are all doing the same thing. Let's look over here and see if these flowers are just as weird.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, we'll go find a different patch of flowers.
Sure. Okay, so you're looking at a patch like over here, and then you say, all right, let's go look at a patch over here. And you all agree that these look like, that these are flowers that almost look like a mature grain, like a bunch of little yellow blossoms up on a stem. And all of you see that. And you're all on the same page.
This is strange. We all saw different things over there, but now we're seeing the same thing here.
They're magic flowers. It's not that surprising that they would do this sort of thing. And I mean, I could cast detect magic, but it might kerplode, and I don't know if it's worth it because I think we pretty much know that it's magic. So maybe those are the flowers that we came here to find because at least they're magic.
That is true. If anything, if once we harvest them and remove them, we should be able to see if they are the right flowers or not.
Don't touch them. Don't
Got-
touch them. Is
we've
there
got
berries? Berries. Are there berries?
Yes. The berries.
Do you have your little containers? We need those.
Yes, yes, I have the little containers.
Miss Betty,
that
will
is-
you pick some of these flowers, the mysterious flowers, and put them in the container?
Hmm.
So the unseen servant's gonna pick some of the flowers that we all saw as either different flowers, or in Jade's case, meat for the meat grinder and blood for the blood god.
Okay. All right. So you're picking some of these. What do you want to call them?
Magic
We're
flower.
pretty sure that the star of Solaris, but like Celine's pretty sure of that, but
Oh, of
everyone
course.
else seems to see other stuff.
You're absolutely correct on both counts. Oddly enough. Okay, so you pick some of these flowers. As you pick them, they, to all of you, they begin to wither, and they just kind of shrivel up into a brownish black, like a kind of a crispy stem, and the petals just kind of like wilt up, and they kind of look like flat raisins.
Either they're actually dead, or this is some kind of illusion being caused by the wild magic. So.
I don't think we can read too much into this change in appearance. They might have died, or maybe they're just being weird some more. So, why don't we, if we do have to take these flowers alive, we can always go back and maybe get a shovel and a pot, or maybe we can cause a wild surge and one of us will turn into a potted plant and then we can put the flowers in there next to us. But, but other than that, we might need to go back and buy a shovel and a pot and some dirt, if that's what we have to do.
Let us. That is the thing. Are there berries around here? Because the berries are also from this plant.
No, you are not seeing berries.
There are no berries here.
And I know that I don't believe any of you are proficient in nature. Although, do we have a survivalist at all?
No one in the party has these skills.
I probably,
Oh.
If anyone has survival, it would probably be Tazray. But I've probably got the best survival outside of that with a +3.
Sure. Go ahead and roll.
I have +3 to nature as well.
Then I'll tell you what. Between the two of you here, approaching the same problem from two different sides. One more of an encyclopedic knowledge, at least in passing, and the other with, I've gotten by. Then I'll let either of you choose. You can roll nature or survival. And you might get similar information for either, but it'll be flavored in a different way. But by you two putting your minds together, I'll just allow a straight up roll, and you can flavor it from a survival point of view or a knowledge nature point of view.
Question.
Yeah.
Considering these plants, like the Star of Solaris and its berries, are supposed to be used, they're very medical things. They're used in the preparation and things of medicines.
Yes.
Would I be able to make a medicine check to try and identify those at all? Because I imagine not the medicine, like proficiency in the medicine skill, would also have to do with identifying plants that are used in the profession.
In this case, because this sounds like something that would be even new to you, this might just be something local. It could be a special flower that only grows in Flower Field, because there are a great many of those that only survive here for whatever hashtag reasons there are. While that's a good idea, and that might work in other circumstances, so don't disregard that. For this circumstance, I'm going to say no, because of the unique nature of this plant.
Alright, fair enough. Then why don't we roll nature first?
Okay. Oh.
All right. So you two are putting your brains together, and boy, is it red flowers? Could that mean that they grow around red soil? Could it be Well, let's see if they make berries. Bright knows that plants need water to live, and this is and this is an amazing idea that you should have thought of. So perhaps because there's not a body of water, just outside of town, like, because again, the picture's doing a good job of conveying. You're standing outside of town. There's a road that winds through the countryside, and there's a bunch of flowers that are in a field, hence the name Flower Field. But you don't see anything. You don't see anything that is providing cover or shade. There's no water. So maybe if you want something with big juicy berries, you got to find a source of water, right? Plants like water. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. Although, of course, there might not be a water source, but that might be a water. There might be a water source that we can't see. Something like an underground river, or things of that nature. Then it might, or like an underground bore or groundwater, things like that it might be accessing.
And maybe we can just bring some water back because these are magic plants, and maybe if we water them, they'll make berries.
Very possible. I mean, I could actually do things involving that, but I think. I don't know, I'll have to have a look. But, so we tried from the nature's perspective. Are we allowed to try from the survival perspective?
No. This was you two put your ideas together, and this is what you came up with.
Okay. Let's see here then. Cleric list, come to me. Fly to me, cleric list.
See if we can find some more of these that are growing in the ground, because in case these are dead, we'll need some new ones anyway.
Well, hold on. You said water. And I can prepare it. I'm going to take a chance.
Okay.
I'm just going to need to get it because I didn't actually think I was going to use this. Give them to grab everything.
Well, you guys are...
If you haven't prepared your spells, we'll have to come back tomorrow.
I very easily have it prepared, no issue. It's just... It, wasn't on my spell list for the companion. Okay.
While you guys are doing your herbalism stuff, I, meanwhile, am going to go take a nap. And I plop down and look at the sky.
All right, Raphael just sprawls in the flowers and is doing.
I've heard about magic flowers that make people fall asleep and then they don't wake up again. Are you sure that this is okay?
Oh, that would be perfect.
Perfect to me.
Okay. So what I'm gonna try and do is, I know this is gonna be like really dangerous, but I'm gonna spend a first level spell slot, and I'm gonna cast Create or Destroy Water.
Okay. Choose wisely.
On using Create Water, basically having rain fall in a 30-foot radius on this patch of flowers, including the dead ones that are the dead ones currently in the container.
Sure. Okay, so you cast this spell, and
I make it rain. I make it rain in a 30-foot cube.
Okay. Rain pours down, and you see that there's some bugs that fly up from that were resting on the flowers. So they all kind of like fly off, and there's an isolated rainstorm going on for a little bit here.
Yep.
We needed to find the right flowers first, because we don't have any more of these Solaris flowers, in case these are actually dead.
Hmm.
Jade walks up to one of the roses, the ones that we're very clear on what this is,
Mm-hmm.
and just plucks one, clean out of the ground. Watch.
Okay. It doesn't change in front of you. It's a rose. Smells nice.
She walks over and
Prestidigitate and super amplify the smell of the rose.
Okay.
God!
Okay.
This could actually turn out to be like really terrible.
It's fine.
I can't help myself.
It's fine. Look, I'm gonna guess you said that, Raphael, and if you did, if we get nuked by a fireball, we're dead. All of us.
Fine.
Oh, so are there more flowers in the area? Like,
Oh.
is this the only patch of flowers, or
No,
are there a bunch more?
the entire field is filled with flowers. For as far as the eye can see.
Look for what appears to be another batch of Solaris flowers.
Yeah, well, then let's go have a look for another patch because I think
By
I
that, do
think
you mean
there's
like
some
the flowers of differing opinion?
Anything that looks like Solaris flowers to me.
Oh,
and if,
okay.
And and that would include the Solaris flowers as the description, and also what I saw with these Solaris flowers.
Okay.
Yeah, I will follow Bright in doing this.
It'll be easier if we split up, and then maybe the first person that sees the flower is the only one that sees the true form.
That is very true, actually.
Sage advice from Bright. Are you doing this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do this. We'll split up and have a look.
Yes, because nothing could go wrong when you leave Jade on her own.
All right.
Raphael's already asleep.
Or
Okay. So you all split and go wandering through the field of magical flowers.
my headset fell off. What happened?
You are splitting up and wandering through the field of magical flowers.
I mean, stay within sight of each other. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, but it died.
Raphael, are you getting up and wandering, or are you just are you acting as home base?
I'm on base.
Okay. Well then, if you all wish to stay in sight of each other, you are tethered to Raphael the Snorlax here.
Okay, that's fine. Then we can reevaluate our plan.
Okay, so wandering around, I mean, you're a couple 100 feet apart. Jade, Bright, and Celine each give me a perception. Fluffy, there are beautiful flowers. Or I'm sorry, Bright, there are beautiful flowers everywhere. I mean, this is just dazzling to your eyes.
I'm distracted by all the pretty flowers.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could not be more happy. I mean, you may have you have a 4, that's true, but you have never seen so many and so abundant and so beautiful an array of flowers in your life. All right, so we have Celine. As you're going, you're looking around, and you're off in one direction here, and you do see more in the kind of getting into the lowland area here. You know, where the hills are starting to dip down, and maybe this is what's accumulating some water or whatnot. But you do see a pond, and there's actually a couple trees also that are growing by the pond.
Ooh. All right. I'll go down and have a little bit of a look at this.
Okay.
Happily, go ahead and have a look at this.
Okay. So then, Doc, let's move Celine over to a flower patch, please.
Okay, I did.
All right. Oh, can you move me over there too? Alrighty. So the rest of you, especially including Raphael, are off and you're in your own separate parts here. And Celine, you go walking for a little ways, and there's just these beautiful flowers that are, they're growing up. They have these fun little like tendrils kind of coming up, and you got these very vivid greens and reds, and the lights playing off of them, and yellows. So I mean, there's some cool colors, but there's a lot of warm colors as well that are growing up in a patch. And in fact, it does seem that Bright had a very elementary answer, but perhaps sticking to the basics is for the best, as we have a pond of standing water of some unknown depth, and growing around the pond is just an amazing array of flowers, and some of these flowers are ones that you have that you haven't seen yet in your journey from the city going further out into Flowerfield. And so you're kind of meandering around, and you can see, oh well, the shade of the trees is also apparently it's sheltering some, because an entirely different species of flower is growing around the base of the tree, where presumably not a lot of light is getting, as opposed to the other places here. So you're wandering around, la-di-da, where I'm moving your token just to just to show that, and you come over here. And sure enough, there is, next to the water, there is a patch of not just red flowers, and not even just red flowers with 5 petals on them, but you're also seeing some others that have oranges and yellows. And to the ones that are on the water, that are like right next to the water line, there are clusters of berries that are growing.
I am going to call out to Bright and say, I think I found them.
Okay, I'll be right there, and I'll run over, and I'm carrying an armful of the wrong flowers.
Okay. And Celine?
Yep.
What are you... So Bright's on her way, but in fact, she almost has like the makings of another foppish hat, as she's kind of like trying to like hobble through the field with this big handful of different flowers.
So Bright, I think I found what we need to what we were looking for. Can you have a look for me?
Okay.
Just to make sure that we're seeing the same thing, unlike last time.
All right, Bright, you're gonna have to set down your flowers, though.
I'll put them carefully in a pile.
Mm-hmm. And?
Do I see the
correct
flowers?
I'm sorry, your audio might have cut out or something. I was. Make a perception at advantage. Okay. Different colored berries. You actually both agree that these are warm colored 5-petaled flowers that do have different berries. And it does so happen that of the different berries, you're seeing that purple must be a very rare variety. Because you're not seeing any ones that are immediately available. Although with a 15, Bright, it takes you just an extra little eyeball movement, and you do find like a big, like, think like ripe grapes, like big juicy berries and they're growing like almost like right up out of the pond.
Okay. Why don't we? Are there enough flowers that we can pick one and then still have plenty left over?
Oh, there's plenty that are growing. Yeah.
Okay. I'll use my mage hand to pick one flower.
Okay, so you can kind of go over and... Are you taking the berries, or are you just plucking the flower off the stem?
Again.
Oh, were you
You
going
can
for the
get that.
flower, or are you picking the bunch of berries growing off of it?
The audio is going to crap. So yes, I am picking just a flower with
Okay.
my mage hand.
Okay, got it. Okay, so you pick the flower, it comes off, it does not immediately wilt, so there's a plus.
So this flower, it doesn't work the same as the other flower.
Then I would say it's the one that we're looking for, considering we can both see that it's the same.
But you just said it was the one that didn't work.
Like the others. The others were different. I don't know what the deal is with that one. So why don't I'll put it in the container if the container is available.
Yes, the container is available.
Jade
Okay.
and Raphael, make perceptions, please.
They'll even awake.
He can do it at disadvantage. I guess
I did call
I
out,
guess he's back
so
out there.
I mean, I am awake. Just not.
you just
Yeah,
daydream
he's
and
staring at
what-
the sky.
Yeah. Where is it? There it is.
Okay, and then one for Jade. Jade, you hear a humming in the air. Like a v in the air.
Jade looks up and for a second she's looking up. Is that buzzing or ticking or she's not sure, but it definitely has her attention.
What is it? I don't hear it.
The wind's kind of picking up a little bit.
There's a lot of buzzing. No, get out of my head.
Like
Get out of
swarm
my
of
head.
bees kind of buzzing?
Why can't you hear it?
I don't hear it. Celine, do you hear it?
It's coming. It's coming. Coming.
And
approaching.
Bright. I Okay, Bright. I presume that your armor class is not above 20.
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. As you know, you and the others, you're looking around. There's this like going on. There is something that crawls out of the pond and wraps around your ankle, and it squeezes your leg. It squeezes your leg for 6 points of bludgeoning damage, and
6.
Yep. And you are starting to be drug into the pond.
Help! 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 I'm gonna try to get rid of the thing. I'll try and cut it off with my dagger.
Okay. And so we'll have that. I'll let you do that, and then we'll roll into initiative as the source of the humming will be made evident as well. So you can go ahead and get one attack in, Bright.
Good.
All right, you try slashing, and whatever has you grabbed, it must be like wet or fresh root. It's not dried, it's tough. Like you kind of put a slice in it, but it doesn't really seem... It would be like trying to ignite wet wood. I mean, you could do it, you just got to try a lot harder. So you like scratch it, but it doesn't let go. It doesn't sever whatever this root or this tendril or whatever it is that's grabbed you and is pulling you.
Hmm.
Several in the flowers around you all now, the becomes a lot more clear, and you can see what actually appear to be little bouquets of flowers themselves kind of spiraling up, and then they have these very gangly roots hanging down, and you can see that they're flapping their petals very, very quickly. So think,
Oh boy.
if a hummingbird or a wasp were made out of flowers, they rise up around, and you just hear this, and you can see also, now that their Bright has been pulled in, rising up out of this pond is a large creature here. And Celine, you have seen this creature before, as this is something that the gladiators in the arena have been pitted against to fight. They called it a flower stalker.
Oh, this must be where they get the creatures from. Hmm.
What are you talking
See.
about?
Very interesting. Someone save me.
They fight those in the arena.
She's being dragged into the pond, and the only thing you hear is help. And you're explaining.
Initiative, shall we?
Yep, so go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh yeah, natural 20.
Everything's coming up, Celine.
Yeah.
Everything
Okay.
is coming up, Celine.
So it looks like we have Celine. Now, as for in a meta conversation battlefield conditions, it is bright light. There are two trees that are evident. They're not stumps, but they are trees. You can move diagonally around them. They count as soft corners. And presumably they can also be climbed. They are trees. There's a pond you can interact with. Also, the grid does extend up into the flower pitcher. So that is still technically battlefield, but that was a very clever way in working with Dr. Freakface here, for us to be able to present both the visual image of where you're fighting and a tactical grid for an encounter. So you can move up into the flowers, even though it's difficult to see any sort of grid line. That is still technically battlefield if you choose to move there. And the pond is kind of representing that as sort of a way to get your eyes to go up into it. So anyway, it seems as if this flower stalker has been disturbed. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Doc. It seems as if this flower stalker has been disturbed and is about ready to snack on a Bright. And also there's these these like flower wasps that have risen up. So Celine, what are you doing? Top of initiative.
Okay, so I that's not good. What I'm going to do is I am going to spend a first level spell slot.
Mm-hmm.
And I, as an action, am going to cast Guiding Bolt on the Flower Stalker.
Okay. Alrighty. So you cast this spell. . sorry. I'll move my whiteboard. And what is the damage? You successfully hit it.
So the damage will be 16 points of radiant damage, and the next attack against it before the start of my next turn has advantage.
Okay.
As it's surrounded by these this shimmering light, this guiding light to guide my my compatriots into slamming this thing.
All right, so Celine, as you cast this spell, you see that perhaps even more of these flower wasps or something else appears and begins swirling around you. Everywhere within 10 feet of your character, you have this swarm of like flower petals and bugs, and it's like you caused like a little dust devil in the middle of this flower field, and it's swirling around you. You know, they're kind of like slapping you in the face and getting in your mouth and everywhere. Yep, thank you very much. And so everywhere around Celine right now is filled with this flying kind of like illusory debris. And for purposes of shooting into or out of this area or through, this would count as lightly obscured.
Okay.
Okay. And then we continue down the line. What is Bright gonna do?
Turn. I cast Magic Missile. I'm gonna cast Magic Missile at the Flower Stalker.
Sure.
And that's gonna be level 1, and it always hits. So, Magic Missile, do you want me to roll 1d4 for all the bolts, or do you want me to roll 3d4?
Whichever one you find more satisfying.
Okay.
It doesn't matter to me.
3d4, because that's the one that I have programmed in.
There you go.
9 damage.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Now we come down to Jade.
Well, if that's the case, wild abandon, she needs this thing to let go of the Bright, who, if I understand this, is still entangled, still trapped, as it were. And unfortunately, that's just not acceptable. Jade moves closer to position and will end up doing a casting of her own.
Okay. Ooh. A wisdom saving throw. Alrighty, I'll throw it.
DC 13.
Nope. It is vulnerable to your whispers, despite it being a plant creature.
She extends her hand a bit and starts to speak. And this is, rather than her skittishness, this is a guttural speech. Maybe some of you would recognize Steve's speech, very unlikely, but she speaks with this very surreal, this voice coming from her mouth as she ends up pressing her hand against the air, and almost like she's forcing it to bend, like, you know, and how you pinch somebody's heads, I pinch your head off. She's doing this, and it collapses almost in turn.
Alrighty. So you're, it's and it has to use its reaction to move. From which point did you cast that spell? Well,
should see the
did you
pen.
cast it from where you're at? Because if it has to move away from... Okay. Then it is going to... Bright, you are going to get drug along with this thing as it gives of like a... almost how you get like a steam squeal through a kettle. This thing almost seems to have like juices or sap or air or carbon dioxide or whatever, like kind of squeal through it as it 1, 2, 3, 4, and Bright, you kind of you're kind of like skittering along like a stone on the pond here. You get a couple bounces on your butt as it drags you along further away. And now that you're back on land, like, just flowers are... You like flowers. Maybe you don't so much like flowers now. Like, they're slapping you in the face as it's dragging you along, and it's taking you away from your friends. Okay, so that was Jade. Unless there's anything else, Jade, we're going to go to Raphael, who's kind of like being sleepy off to the side here.
I guess something else? Okay.
Yep, so Raphael, what are you doing?
So hearing the screams of Bright, I am gonna jump pretty much to my feet and rush over to the screams.
Okay.
So
What your move is 30, so if you double move, that'd be 60. All right, so you get up and they were wandering off as you were being kind of like the home base here, and you start advancing towards where everyone is at. You won't be able to reach it this turn, even on... it's not called a double move anymore, but if you get what I'm saying, on a move and a dash, technically. However, next turn you will be able to arrive on the map. So this turn you're gonna hop up and you're gonna start running.
right.
Okay. Next up, we have... Oh, I'm sorry if I got things out of order. I just saw in chat here a note about that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. All right, so now we have our little buzzy doos here, and they are going to... They're going to approach where Jade and Celine are, and as they get close, there we go. And as they get close, they stop as if they're hesitant to cross this, like this bug petal barrier. And so instead, what they do is they will, they'll just rise up in the air a little bit on their approach as they're testing this inadvertent force field that you have erected. And you can see that they have barbs almost as stingers and thorns, and they have different their stamens and pistils and whatnot. Like, they're undulating, like you're getting like a syrupy, like a nectar drool, and these things seemingly really want to come and say hi to you, but they're hesitating around this barrier, almost testing it. And they're kind of bouncing against it. So that's their turn. Now we're going to come up to the flower stalker here, who has Bright, and has successfully run away from the big mean lady Jade with her spooky face. And this thing is going to open up, and you just see that it's these beautiful, like, large petunias that make up its face. Split, and you are engulfed by it. You're eaten effectively, Bright.
That's unfortunate.
As it pulls you inside of it. Oh, can we get Bright's token on top of the? I'm not sure how to layer that, but anyway, it pulls you inside, and you just feel like these like acidic juices, and it's you can't breathe. I don't know if you're claustrophobic, if that's a little quirk of yours or not. But you're getting eaten by a flower. And at the beginning of your turn, you will need to make a Constitution saving throw, and then you could proceed with things from there, given the conditions that you may still be facing or not.
Okay.
So now let's wrap back around. Celine, you just saw this thing's face split apart and draw Bright inside.
Yes, I did, and that does not bode well for me at all. Right. Well, I have this thing around me, and I'm guessing that lasts until the end of my next turn.
Who knows? You'll have to find out.
Okay. If I move to there, am I in melee range, or am I just off?
Melee would be any of the squares around the token.
All right, so I'm just off then. All right, then what I'm gonna do then is, because I can see it. I will spend my action to cast Chill Touch, possibly. It's 120 feet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move.
Okay.
I'm then going to, as an action, cast Chill Touch.
Okay.
And thanks to my Reaper, because it's a necromancy cantrip, instead of targeting one creature, I can target two creatures that are within 5 feet of each other.
Okay.
So I'll be targeting these two wasps here.
Okay, so you're moving close, but you're casting back towards Jade. Okay. Okay.
Yep, and then so I'll do that first.
Sure. All right, so you're having to like you're lining up your little pew pew cantrip finger and pew pew. Go ahead and roll. So Jade, you from your perspective, Celine rushes forward and is this epicenter of this tornado of bugs and flower petals, and suddenly you are left alone. And all of the buzzing grows louder as you look around, and all of the flower petals and everything that were keeping the bugs at bay suddenly are gone. Celine dashes, turns around after getting close to the flower stalker, and lines up a shot, and...
It'll be, are you going to do a separate attack roll for each, or is it both just for the single?
Well, I think your ability asks for a separate roll, doesn't it?
It says I can target two creatures within 5 feet.
Okay, so yeah, you'll have to make a second attack roll.
All right.
Okay. All right.
So
you hit both?
All right, both hit.
Yep.
one takes 2 and the other takes 3.
That's not good.
Okay. So,
and then the other.
Go ahead.
I'll let you do the thing first.
No, Jade, as you look, this bolt, or no, you said it's a chill hand, right?
It's
Or chill
basically
touch?
this, but
disembodied?
basically summons this disembodied skeletal.
Okay.
Like I've got it flavored. It's usually a hand, but I've got it flavored to be a scythe because obviously death cleric and
Sure.
death and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so they fly out and injure these wasps, but they're still buzzing. They look very angry. Jade, you get a little bit of wasp confetti floating down on you, and then what are you doing, Celine?
As a bonus action, I'm going to spend my last first level spell slot, and I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself as a bonus action.
Okay. As you do this, Celine, there is magic that begins crackling around you, and all of you can see that now it almost as if like static electricity was being built up inside this tornado of bugs and flower petals. You start seeing electricity building and zapping and arcing all around Celine. And
no, I'm gonna get vaporized.
And so Celine, as you cast your sanctuary spell, you can the power sort of centers on you, and as you're invoking this energy and you're reading the magic because it seemingly is resounding with your sanctuary magic here, you can choose up to 3 creatures within 30 feet of you to channel this electricity towards.
Far away, so I only have one creature that's really within range because I imagine
Okay.
Bright has full cover as she's inside this thing.
Presumably.
And ideally, you wouldn't zap me with your lightning bolt anyway. Like that would be nice.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't zap you anyway. I'm just
all I'll say is you have the potential to shoot lightning out of yourself somewhere at targets within 30 feet.
Then the only one available would be the Flower Stalker. So
Okay.
the Flower Stalker is going to be taking some.
All right, Celine,
Zap.
I want you to roll 4d10.
All right.
Okay. So you all see this static electricity build up, and it discharges, arcing and crackling into the flower stalker. Bright, even though it's probably wildly inappropriate, it actually, like, the static tingles kind of make you giggle a little bit. It kind of tickles.
My hair is gonna stick out every which way.
You just hear this kind of
Breast
tittering
is
coming from inside the beast.
Do I take half the damage from that as well, or am I safe?
No, you are safe. You are fully engulfed by this thing. You're fine.
Good news.
Okay, now Raphael, I'm sorry, I will not skip you in the order this time. You have gotten up, you've hopped to your feet, and you are arriving on the battlefield. We'll say that you do have to use 15. We'll have you use 15 feet of your movement to arrive on anywhere you want along the map edge here that you're already on. So you can place yourself in a square, and you'll have consumed 15 feet of movement, and then you have whatever movement you have available to you left to move or take other standard actions, item interaction, or a bonus action. So what would you like to do? Oh, you with us, Rogue?
Sorry, I forgot I had my mic muted. I was
Okay.
eating.
So yep, you can put yourself anywhere on the map edge and consume 15 feet, and the rest of what you have to do is yours.
Alright, so I'm content where I am right now.
Okay.
I'm going to use the rest of the movement, the other 15 feet,
Okay.
and I'm going to stop right here for a quick second to gather what exactly the hell is going on.
Okay.
Seeing that Bright is being engulfed and Celine has become a lightning conduit, I am going to rush over towards Jade.
Okay, so you're taking your standard to dash?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a bonus or a bonus action or an item interaction you want to use?
No.
Okay. Then go ahead, yep, and go over. So Jade, Raphael has caught up. Raph, as you get close, you see these tiny little, tiny creatures buzzing around, and the two that you're standing next to appear kind of frayed, like their petals are kind of like flapping and have tears. Okay, so that was Celine, Raphael. Now we're back onto Bright, who must make a con save.
I'm going to go ahead and use my portent for a natural roll of 13, plus my Constitution modifier of +1 for a result of 14.
Alrighty. So you manage, as this thing is trying to choke you down, you're pressing against it, like your arms and legs are sort of like pressing out. You know, for those of you on the outside, you can see this thing is like bulging from within, as you see like Bright kind of like trying to keep the digestive constrictions from taking her down further into this thing's gullet. But you do manage to avoid being further crushed inside this thing, Bright. And the rest of the turn is yours.
Okay. I'm still engulfed.
Yeah, okay, so technically, or mechanically, you are blinded, restrained, and unable to breathe. However, what I will do is this. You still have a lungful of air. If you wish to cast a spell, then you can do so, but you are going to be jeopardizing suffocating because you've consumed your air, if it's a spell with a verbal component that you've had to utter. Otherwise, you can hold your breath and flail. I'll leave the decision up to you.
Oh, all of my spells have verbal components.
Okay.
So I'm not... do I have if I were just grappled, I could make an action to escape the grapple, but I don't know that I could do that for being engulfed. What can you tell me about that?
Well, you are restrained. I would allow an opposed roll to see if you can somehow claw your way up out of this thing's gullet.
Okay. Would that be dexterity or strength for me?
I'm gonna have this be a strength because it's not a restraint that you could just wiggle out of because you're completely consumed. So we will have opposed athletics.
In that case, I'm gonna go ahead and cast a firebolt.
Okay, sure.
And,
Firebolt from within.
Do I have to roll to hit, considering my...
Roll to not get a 1. Because we'll see what happens if something happens on a 1. I mean, not that you would necessarily miss, but, I mean, for flavor.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just want to know what to do.
Okay. Heck, you're inside this thing. Is the 25 a crit?
Would we if you had advantage?
Okay. I don't know about advantage necessarily, at least for the crit in this case, but you certainly hit from the inside. So go ahead and roll your damage.
4. But it's fire damage.
It is.
Oh no, it's three fire, not 4
Oh, okay.
for the crit.
Okay. So there's like a little like, and actually, kind of like what Derek just did. Like all of you on the outside kind of see like a wisp of steam and smoke kind of come up from this thing's mouth as it kind of like belches a little bit of fire. Okay. So you do that, and so you go, firebolt or whatever your verbal component is, and you are finding that there's not much breath left in your lungs after that, and this thing is still squeezing you. Jade, what are you doing? You have these buzzing flower wasps around you. You have the flower stalker that just sort of coughed up a little bit of steam or smoke. You have this swirling electrical bug flower tempest of Celine.
Jade ends up looking to Raphael as she ends up bolting past him.
Uh-huh.
I will invoke an attack of opportunity when I end up doing this, but she ends up turning to him and ends up expressing, "Go after the little one. Keep them tied. And don't forget to jump in the water if it gets ugly."
Okay, so you're going to provoke from the tiny one here? Or from the one that you're by there? Let's roll it. Okay, so Jade, as you are fleeing, what this thing does is it will hit a 21, I presume.
That will.
You take 5 points of piercing damage, and as you move, it maybe it tracked your motion or something, or you just went on the trajectory that it's now on because it's kind of spinning a little out of control because it was damaged. And this thing like latches onto you with one of its thorns, and it actually has come along with you as it starts to suck your blood. Anything else? Oh, I can't hear you. Your mic's off or something.
Forgot to
There
push
you
to talk. I'm not used to working with it.
You're fine.
If it's latched on.
Yeah, like
right?
wrapped a barb around you, and it's like putting roots in you.
Okay, then I will place myself here. So this puts me at about what, knee deep water?
Yeah, that's fine. It would
Okay.
be difficult. It'd be difficult terrain.
But that just puts me in it.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. You're knee. You're knee deep in water.
Is it latched in there like really good? Like it's really going for broke.
Yes.
If that's the case, then I will cast a spell, which everybody keeps on the seat of their pants as she hurls what seems to be a mangle of gears and skin.
Oof. Okay.
I don't think that hits unless there's some advantage to it.
No.
What's the effect?
Nothing.
I'm going to take my free action and I am going to just let my legs give out and drop right in the water.
Okay.
I'm going to drown this little thing.
Curse splash. All right. So Jade falls over in the water. This is now going to cycle over to the flower wasps. Who are going to... Oh, well, here's a tasty little treat that just ran up. They are going to descend down. While the green is representing their height, they are going to fly down, and they're going to try and wrap themselves like almost like a thorny crown around your head, Raphael. And we're going to do some attacks. There's 4 of them, so I'm just going to roll twice and use each of the dice rolls to represent an attack from each. Okay, you are rocking a 19, so one of them is going to hit, and you are going to take 5 points of piercing damage, Raphael, as this one it managed to find an exposed area around your neck or shoulder, and it kind of like shoots a little like a thorny vine down into your skin, and almost like takes root and is sucking up your blood as nutrition, as this thing is like latched onto you. Now we come over to the flower stalker. This thing, the thing that's on Jade, it's not worth it to drown, because then it can't eat at all. So this thing will actually let go of Jade, and will just sort of fly up and be confused as what's happening. So I'll put this here, and this will just be at like 20 feet, hovering above, looking around. Okay, so I'm sorry. Now we're on the flower stalker. The flower stalker is going to lash out, and is going to try and bonk Celine, as it's going to like shoot a vine, and it'll land a critical hit.
Is it gonna hurt?
Isn't that the roll it needs to make in order to bypass the sanctuary?
Oh,
No,
there is a sanctuary. What do I need for that?
It's a wisdom save.
A wisdom? Okay. It will pass that then.
Yeah,
and so it will get to attack you. So good call on that.
So it can attack me. Yeah. Sorry,
And
but
now-
I completely into that for a second.
And now Bulbasaur's going to Vine Whip you. And
Sure.
critting you again.
Oh!
Celine, this was meant to be. This was meant to happen.
Oh, this is gonna hurt something shocking, because it's double dice. Oh, I'm
Sure,
probably gonna go down.
All right. So we have... you are going to take 12 points of damage as this thing just shoots out and like gets you in the gut and like knocks the wind out of you.
I am at 3 hit points.
What are hit points? How do you declare those to your party members?
I mean that is out of game. That is what I am at. In game, Celine doesn't actually let out a noise as the wind gets knocked out of her lungs. I mean, Bright may hear, like, over the din of the illusory buzzing.
Bright's not really in a good position to hear much right now.
Yeah, I was just saying, like she's closest to, she might just hear this, but Celine lets out a wheeze. She manages to stay up. She doesn't double over, but that hurt really badly.
Yeah, it feels almost like the gods themselves just needed this to happen, Celine. All right, now it is your turn, and then we'll go to Raph and Bright.
Guess who is now pissed? Celine is now pissed. Celine is very, very pissed at the flower stalker, and she's gonna run up.
And also it's a
She's gonna
dice.
move up with a scream, and she's going to attack this thing.
Sure.
Oh,
Well, you attack at it. You attack in its general vicinity.
yeah. I do still have a small blessing. Am I able to give myself advantage to see if I can't turn that into a hit? Because I have a small blessing.
If you were to declare that beforehand,
I should have declared it
but
beforehand,
yeah, but kind of like using inspiration or something along those lines. I mean, so yeah, you do have some small boons here that you could cash in. If there's something else, I will say that your attack misses. Or we can flare it and say that you rush in, you're angry, and you're caught up in the vines a little bit, and you're kind of like having to bap out of the way before you can hit the main body.
Yeah, if I'm able to cash that in to do let's see here. I'm just trying to think on how I would spend this, what I could do to keep this fair and also try to make this.
You can also grant them to someone else. So if you've taken your turn, Raphael, Bright, and Jade all are going to go next too.
Yeah, actually.
Bright's inside the monster. She might use
I'm going to grant my boon to Bright.
Can you see me? Do you have to be able to see me to do that?
Nah, not for this. This is an act of a fickle god.
Yeah. Maybe you don't have a lot of breath left.
Do you want her to find some fresh air?
Yeah. I'll let you find some fresh air, so you might be able to cast another spell and maybe deal some damage to this thing.
Okay, Bright, as you are struggling inside this thing, like, Celine, actually, we'll say this, like, Celine, you attack, it may not have been a vital spot, but you do manage to, like, puncture the hide, or to, like, peel away some loose skin that's been flapping, and for the briefest of moments, you see Bright's, like, pink lips or whatever, kind of like, in the, in the air, or, in the opening, and she just, Bright, you just get this nice, like, lungful of sweetly scented, perfumed air as your lungs fill again before this thing constricts and kind of draws you back down inside of it.
Okay, that's so nice.
Raphael, what are you doing?
So dead.
I'm currently fighting off mosquitoes.
Yes. One's attached to you and 3 others are buzzing around you.
I'm going to go ahead and make a swing at one of them. Let's go with the one to my direct right.
This one over here?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure, swing. Nice.
Alright.
Okay. You even maxed out your, Alright. So Raphael, however you wish to describe it, I'll let you do so. But you land a solid. Apparently, the gods just love crits, right? You're an agent of them, or at least of some divine force. And this thing just absolutely, like, it vaporizes. At your short sword swing, just in a of petals, and it just sort of floats to the ground.
I take the short sword, I draw it, and like a marksman, I pierce it directly through its head, and it ends up splitting in two.
Definitely a marksman. It's like that old adage, like a whip. Like, I can whip a fly off a bull's rear end from 15 feet away or whatever. You're attacking mosquitoes with a short sword, and you somehow got a decapitating blow. Okay, anything else from your Raphael?
I don't have any bonus actions, so nope.
Okay.
My turn.
Bright, you have a lung full of air.
Do I have to make another saving throw?
Yes, at the beginning of your turn you do.
Okay, I'm going to use my other portent.
Okay.
So I have a pretty good idea that it's going to work.
Okay.
Did. So anything happen as a result of the save?
Not if you're saving, no, you're just kind of giving little, like, baby kicks and lumps and stuff from the inside. Or did you fail? I'm sorry if the audio cut. What was your score?
Result of 14, same as last turn.
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
Because it was the same. I rolled the same number for both portents.
Okay.
I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Magic Missile again.
Sure. Oh, nice. Okay, Celine, you're standing next to it. Is it 3 missiles or 4 that you shoot?
It's 3.
3. All right, so Celine, from the outside, you just see, like, and there's, like, these lumps, like these exaggerated lumps that kind of, like, shoot up from the inside of this thing as it kind of, like, quivers and groans, and it's not looking too good. This thing's being beat up from the outside and the inside. Jade, what are or I'm sorry, unless there's anything else that you're doing, Bright. Jade, what are you doing?
Sure.
Sounded like Bright wanted to do something.
Nope. I said I was done.
Okay. At this moment, with the insects removed from Jade's face, from her arm, I should say, she pops out, and the blood that's pouring from this wound that was recently the food source for this insect throws itself out. This mass of hair, almost like a thing, the horror show from the swamp, extends its hand. And we're going to end up doing this again, except if I recall, let me just double check this.
By the way, Bright, you're good. Nothing manifested with your magic missile.
Okay, thanks.
And she throws out the hand, and once again, flesh and gears that is travel and slither through the air, going directly towards the creature that has Bright at this moment, because as far as Jade knows, the small thing is currently being digested. And, well, while dying in flowers isn't the worst way to go, Jade has plans.
The gears in the flesh strike.
I'm okay in the flower. Jade's plans are much scarier.
What is your damage, Jade?
That's a full 10.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Bright, as you're struggling inside this thing, and once more your lungs are burning because they need air, your lips are turning blue, from the outside, there's just sort of like a meaty, like, chunk sound, and like a grind, and finally you can see light again as this thing splits apart and peels open, as these phantasmal gears and mouths and things kind of disperse. And as you're in a way kind of reborn back into the world from this flowery womb, you have all of these swirling petals and butterflies and other things that are swirling around Celine. Some of them are kind of slapping you in the face indignantly. However, the flower stalker shudders and collapses back, into the flowers from which it came. So Bright is freed.
You saved me. Thank you so much.
Bright, you get this. Oh, no, go ahead. I want you to accidentally take credit for this.
Celine was like, I'm pretty. That wasn't me. That was Jade, and you could actually see that Celine is not looking well. She's very, very, very bloodied. There's probably across her almost the creamy, almost porcelain skin. There's trickles of blood, and she got hit really hard.
Now it did just hit 3 a.m. For me, lethality. If you need to go, I understand.
I do have like 10 minutes at most.
We could probably wrap this up as long as you guys don't whiff, because all that's left are swatting some wasps here. But hey, I've rolled 2 crits in a row. Let's see what happens. So Jade ended up going. Is there anything else, Jade, are you doing on your turn?
Yes. Seeing Celine, Celine, you're going to get this vision of yourself, but it's underwater. And as you end up seeing Jade, who's the water is dripping off her face, she just looks up at the wasp, and that long hair suddenly starts to resubmerge like some kind of predatory shark lurking under the water.
I'm gonna. Okay, that's. Considering I hit really hard, I'm not sure. Like, Celine's not gonna show. Is that just Jade doing her thing, or am I actually seeing things?
All right. While you're pondering that, Jade, you have resurfaced, correct?
Jade resurfaces. So in game terms, she resurfaces to shoot, then drops again.
Gotcha. All right. In that case, this has already interacted with your impenetrable force field, Celine, of flower petals and butterflies. So this is going to buzz over where Jade is lurking, and Raphael, you have a new friend, who's going to come over and say hi. And so the one that's on you. The one that's on you is just going to be able to continue sapping nutrients from you. And so you're going to take an automatic 6 points of damage from that. And then I'm going to, let's see, there's 3 others that are on you. So I will roll. First one misses. The second swing is going to hit. And that is going to deal 5 points of piercing damage. And you now have 2 friends that are on you. Whoops. What is that? Hold down Alt, I think. Yeah, there we go. And then the third one is going to swing. And is going to hit a 20.
Oh.
And so you're going to take 6 points of piercing damage.
That leaves me unconscious.
All right, you all see that Raphael has 3 of these things that manage to surround him. And like they all fix their roots into his body and begin leaching nutrients. He falls and is unconscious. Celine.
Yes. I feel like going through the pond might be the best idea. At the deepest part of the pond, how deep is it?
It really at all parts, because your swimming is half your speed. Difficult terrain's half your speed. So really, as soon as you hit the pond edge, it's going to be half your speed anyway to move through, or a 2-for-1.
Okay. Right. I'm going to then move like this. And I'm gonna cast a cantrip. I'm gonna cast Chill Touch, targeting 2 of the bugs on Raphael.
Okay.
Are there any of them that seem more damaged than the others? Because if there are 2 damaged ones, those will be the 2 that I'm targeting.
There's the ones that you targeted initially.
All right, so I'll attack those 2.
Sure. Okay.
And that's the 2 attack rolls.
So the one is definitely going to hit. As it is writhing here, and so you pop the one that was feeding off of Raphael.
All right.
And the other one just sort of like flies off and I don't know. It went somewhere. Your bolt did, your magic attack, which by the way, okay, you're good.
Okay. Right. Well, I managed to hit one of them. That'll be it for me, because I can't do anything else.
Okay, Raphael, I need a death saving throw.
Actually, it's been a while since I've even died or been unconscious. How do
It's a D20.
It's a D20.
It's the death saves button in the middle of the main front page of your character sheet.
Oh, you just click that.
Yeah, you can just
right
click
next to your
that
hit
and roll
dice.
a D. Oh,
Oh.
that's 2 failures.
Um, Raphael's a very sleepy guy.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's 2 failures.
He started the combat laying down, looking up at the sky, and he's kind of ending the combat laying down and looking up at the sky.
Oh.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Were you saying something? No? All right. So, yeah, you just see that Raphael, like, he may be covered in armor and have little bits here and there. It's kind of like a mismatch and whatnot. And you're just seeing blood leaking out of him. But I'll tell you, it's a very beautiful, like, crimson color, and it blends with the flowers nicely. Bright. You... kind of as a freebie, you can kind of like just stand up out of this thing because it was like contorting you and whatever. You're free of it. So you are there, and
Okay.
you see what you see.
I'll stand up, and I'm lying here in the flowers. I'm indistinguishable from the flowers next to me because everything is hues of pink. So I get up,
Yeah.
and I'm covered in leaves, and I'll go ahead and take 2 steps forward because that's all I've got, getting
Sure.
up from prone.
Yep.
And I'm going to go ahead and shoot. I'm cast my last magic missile, and the magic missiles, they look like plant leaves
Okay.
infused with the aspect of plant, and they will hit 2 on the undamaged one and 1 on the damaged one.
Okay. I will not need a roll for those because those are auto hits. And
But I do have to roll damage.
oh yeah, you don't get modifier in this, do you? Okay. Go ahead and roll.
I'll roll the 1 that's on the damaged and the 2 first, and then I'll roll the 2 that are on the undamaged.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So, Bright is kind of, we're playing some Metal Gear Solid 3 here. She's equipped her flower camo, and she's sneaking through. Pops up and tags 2 of these flower wasps, and the one kind of just spirals out of control, and the other one just evaporates. And so now we come over, unless there's anything else from Bright. Jade.
Jade is going to peer out of the water and rush towards this thing, trying to skitter it off. And this time, rather than a blast, this is dangerous just as well. But she draws a dagger of flint, something that looks like it's shipped together loosely.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
That's it's funny because it's cruel.
You know
Oh.
what? Here's
Oh,
the
no,
irony
that
of
was a
this
crit
situation.
fail.
You know what the irony of the situation is? You earlier said that he started the combat on the ground and it's going to end the combat on the ground. I started this game with a run, and we're going to end this session on a 1.
Raphael.
Oh wow.
I think you... Are you unconscious, Raphael, or are you kind of struggling?
I'm unconscious.
Okay. Then this shall be a mercy. So what occurs is this thing it's on you, it's constricting, it's drinking your life forces from you. we Jade comes over and draws a dagger from somewhere. I don't even know if she knows where she got it from, but she has it. And as she comes forward out of the muck and the slime, she is intending to free you from this flowery creature that is sapping your life force, and trips over some roots or some flowers and falls forward with the dagger and plunges inside of you. You are helpless. So this is effectively a free critical hit against you.
That
In effect, it was like a coup de grace style move, and so what I need Jade to do is roll critical hit damage.
be another D4. Oh, that's maximum damage. Oh no.
Okay. So this is going to... Let's see. I don't know if I've had to use this rule ever. Or at least in a long time. I do believe there is a death by massive damage or by effectively being coup de grace.
A third death save fail. Because he has two from his fail and then he's taking damage.
Yeah, and because it's a critical hit, it's another 2 failures. So that's actually... That's death. That's death.
Okay. Raphael. Hi, Rogue. How you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm currently lying on the ground unconscious.
Yeah.
With a knife sticking.
Well...
Well, I got what I wished for by going to sleep.
We have a couple people in chat pressing F for you, bud. What we'll do is this, as I am not a DM without mercy. Jade, you very much impaled the flower wasp that was sucking the life. Unfortunately, you've just kind of pinned it to his chest like a boutonniere. And what we'll do is we will end the session on this note. As all of you, if you want to sort of like, I don't know if you want to gather around Bright or whatnot, but as Jade,
I'll be there as quick as I can.
As Jade comes around, and you know what? We're seeing this Metal Gear salute going on here. I think I have a couple as well here. Let me spam a couple of these. And almost, it's funny that we're talking about. It's kind of funny we're talking about Metal Gear Solid 3 because here we are in a beautiful field of red flowers, and as Celine draws up close to Raphael and has the swirling petals and the butterflies and everything that's still lingering from the wild magic effect, everyone just kind of gathers around Raphael, and we'll fade to black here and find out what happens in next week's session.
I mean, if she hadn't have missed, I would have been able to get there, and I would have been able to spare the dying. But oh no.
Well,
they would have had the turn. No, it was do or die.
If you don't mess anything up, it'll be over in 10 minutes. Well, the opposite of that was true too.
Oh, it was over in 10 minutes.
No, the fact of the matter is if I didn't take the shot, it had a free shot on him, which is death anyway. It's
no.
It would have sucked
if you no. But I mean, if you would have hit it, like actually hit it and dealt that damage, like even just not even the critical hit damage, just the 5 might have been enough, and I would have been able to come, and I would have been able to spare the dying him, because I would have been able to move over there beforehand. But
the wasp had the next move. So it would have killed him because he had 2 death failures.
No, I mean that's what I mean. Like if Jade actually would have hit it and gotten the 5 damage, that might have actually killed the wasp before it got a free hit.
Sure. Well, I mean, we could go back and do causality chains and whatnot, but
You want to know what? I'm just going to figure out a way to end up tying this into Jade's story because of what we described. Like, this is perfect, actually, as far as Jade's story.
You're right. This is better than backstory because it happens at the table with all of us here.
Yep.
That is very true. I gotta get going.
Yeah, Lethality, you gotta get to your own game. Make sure to post it when you're broadcasting, and we'll come over and give you a raid, okay?
Yep. I'll post it. I will post it in the chat under Twitch promotion. And I'm actually really looking forward to it because I'm playing a very, very insane gnome. But so you guys have something to
more
look forward
insane?
Yeah.
Because
oh yeah, no,
I try my best.